Can you imagine a world where giant salamanders, those seemingly harmless creatures we often overlook, become the harbingers of chaos? Picture this, a city under siege, not from an alien invasion or a natural disaster, but from an onslaught of colossal amphibians. It began on an ordinary day. The sun was shining, children were playing, and life was carrying on as usual. Suddenly, the ground shook with a force that rivaled the strongest earthquake. Buildings crumbled, cars were tossed aside like toys, and panic ensued. The source of the upheaval, a legion of monstrous salamanders, each one the size of a skyscraper, emerging from the depths of the earth. As the city fell into chaos, the military was called in. Tanks rolled through the streets, helicopters filled the sky, and soldiers lined up, ready to defend their city. But how do you fight an enemy that's larger than your tallest buildings? The salamanders, undeterred by the show of force, swept through the city, their thick skin impervious to bullets and bombs. The military, despite their best efforts, fell before the amphibian onslaught. The city was in ruins, its defenders decimated, but in the face of despair, a glimmer of hope emerged. The salamanders, having laid waste to the city, turned on each other. A battle of titans ensued, with the city serving as their arena. The monstrous creatures clashed, their roars echoing throughout the desolate city. Buildings were further reduced to rubble, streets were torn apart, and the city was reshaped by their colossal battle. The conflict raged on, salamander against salamander, until only one remained. Exhausted, the victorious salamander let out a triumphant roar before retreating to the depths from whence it came. The city was left in ruins, a shadow of its former self. But amid the wreckage, the spirit of resilience began to stir. In the aftermath of the salamander siege, the city began to rebuild. The buildings, once symbols of a thriving metropolis, were now monuments to the city's resilience. The people, though shaken, were not broken. They banded together, determined to restore their city to its former glory. The day giant salamanders attacked the city will forever be etched in history. It serves as a stark reminder of the power of nature and the resilience of the human spirit. The city may have been brought to its knees, but in the end, it stood tall. The final battle between the monstrous salamanders was a spectacle of nature's raw power. But it was the city's spirit of resilience that emerged victorious. The salamanders may have won the battle, but the city won the war.